In the history of cinema, there are few stars who not only dominate the screen, but leave an indelible mark on the world of film. Greta Garbo was one such figure, a mesmerizing talent. Unlike many of her contemporaries, Garbo captivated audiences not just with her performances, but with her enigmatic presence both on and off the screen. Her life, shrouded in privacy, only deepened her mystique, making her one of the most intriguing and enduring icons in Hollywood history. This is the story of Greta Garbo, Hollywood's most elusive and unforgettable star. Born on September 18, 1905, as Greta Lovisa Gustafsson, Garbo grew up in the poor Södermalm district of Stockholm, Sweden. Her early life was far from glamorous, marked by economic hardship. Her father, a laborer, died when she was only 14, leaving the family struggling to make ends meet. Little did anyone know that this young girl from a working-class background would one day become one of the most famous faces in the world. Garbo's interest in acting started early. As a child, she entertained herself by performing in front of mirrors, mimicking the stars she idolized. While working as a department store clerk, Greta Garbo crossed paths with film director Erik Petschler, who offered her a small role in the film Luftpeter, 1922, Peter the Tramp. At 17, she enrolled in the prestigious Royal Dramatic Theatre Academy in Stockholm, where her talent was quickly noticed by director Mauritz Stiller. Stiller not only became her mentor, but also played a pivotal role in her career trajectory. It was director Mauritz Stiller who bestowed her with the name Garbo, and in 1925 he helped her land a contract with Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, MGM, in Hollywood. Garbo's first big break came in 1924 when she was cast in the Swedish film The Saga of Gösta Berling, directed by Stiller. MGM studio head Louis B. Mayer invited Garbo and Stiller to Hollywood. At just 19 years old, Garbo arrived in America in 1925, slipping in quietly with little fanfare. From the very beginning, she was hesitant to engage with the press or disclose details about her personal life. In her first interview, she bluntly told reporters, "I was born. I had a mother and father. I went to school. What does it matter?" In The Torrent, 1926, Garbo made her American film debut, playing a Spanish peasant with dreams of becoming an opera star. However, the expected Garbo-Stiller collaboration in Hollywood never came to pass. Stiller wasn't appointed to direct the film, and following a major disagreement with MGM executives, he left for Paramount, where he also ran into conflicts with the studio heads. He returned to Sweden in 1928 and passed away the following year. Garbo quickly became a sensation. Her next films, The Temptress, 1926, Flesh and the Devil, 1926, and The Mysterious Lady, 1928, were both major hits, catapulting her to international stardom. Her on-screen chemistry with leading men like John Gilbert only added to her allure. Audiences couldn't get enough of her, and Garbo became MGM's most bankable star. Her first 3 films accounted for 13% of the studio's profits in 1925 to 26. Aware of the financial struggle she had experienced growing up, Garbo understood the power she held. Following a contract dispute with MGM, during which she threatened to return to Sweden, she secured a groundbreaking deal that paid her $270,000 per film and gave her unprecedented control over her roles and the projects she chose to star in. But then came the biggest challenge of her career, the advent of talking pictures. Many silent stars struggled with this transition, but Garbo wasn't one of them. In fact, the introduction of sound only enhanced her mystique. Her first talkie, Anna Christie, 1930, was heavily promoted with the tagline, "Garbo Talks." The film was a smash hit, and Garbo's deep, sultry voice added a new layer to her already captivating performances. She wasn't just a silent film star anymore. She was a legend in the making. Garbo went on to deliver some of the most iconic performances in film history, from the doomed Russian spy in Mata Hari, 1931, to the conflicted courtesan in Camille, 1936. Her range was unparalleled. In Queen Christina, 1933, Garbo played the Swedish monarch with an intensity and grace that only she could bring to the role. Garbo's talent lay in her ability to convey complex emotions with the subtlest of gestures. She didn't need grand displays of emotion. A single look, a brief smile, or a moment of silence was enough to convey everything. She made every frame she appeared in a work of art. Her allure, however, was more than just her acting. It was her mystery. While other stars basked in the glow of Hollywood's social scene, Garbo shunned the spotlight. She gave very few interviews, avoided premieres, and rarely engaged with the press. This refusal to play the Hollywood game only made her more intriguing. She famously said, "I want to be alone," a phrase that has since become part of her mythos. But in truth, Garbo didn't want to be lonely. She simply valued her privacy above all else. By the late 1930s, however, Garbo's box office appeal began to wane. As America grappled with the Depression, her cosmopolitan style no longer resonated with audiences as it once did. In an attempt to reinvent herself, she took on a couple of comedies, Ninotchka, 1939, and Two-Faced Woman, 1941. But neither achieved the success of her earlier films, although she did earn her final Oscar nomination for Ninotchka*. In 1941, at the peak of her career, Garbo made a decision that shocked the world. She retired. After the release of Two-Faced Woman, 1941, a film that was critically panned, Garbo quietly stepped away from Hollywood. She was just 36 years old. Unlike many stars who stage comebacks or fade into obscurity, Garbo's retirement was permanent. Outside the spotlight of Hollywood, Garbo withdrew into a private world that very few were permitted to see. Although she had multiple romantic relationships, including at least one with a woman, she never married. During World War II, as many in Hollywood actively supported the war effort, Garbo faced criticism for her relative silence on the matter. Following the advice of a friend, she made significant investments in real estate and art. At the time of her passing, her net worth was estimated to exceed $55 million. In the late 1980s, Garbo's kidneys began to fail, leading her to stop her walks and further isolate herself. She passed away on April 15, 1990, in a New York City hospital. In 2012, some of her belongings, including clothing, jewelry, and her bed, were sold at auction. 5 years later, a collection of 36 letters written by Garbo in the 1930s and 40s, revealing her loneliness in Hollywood and her dissatisfaction with changes made to The Two-Faced Woman, her final film, was announced for sale at Sotheby's in London. Greta Garbo's career spanned just 16 years, but in that short time she became one of the most iconic figures in cinematic history. She was a star who didn't just shine, she illuminated. Her performances, filled with depth and emotion, continue to captivate audiences today, and her decision to remain private in an era of overexposure only added to her mystique. In an industry obsessed with fame and visibility, Garbo dared to be different. She valued her craft more than the trappings of stardom, and in doing so, she achieved a timeless legacy that few can match. Her mystery, her talent, and her beauty will continue to captivate audiences for generations to come, ensuring that the name Greta Garbo will never be forgotten. Well, that's a wrap for today. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and found it engaging, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you want to stay updated with more captivating content, hit that red subscribe button and tap the notification bell so you never miss a video from us. Your support means everything.